And the big international story now, well, after outrage and backlash from the cabinet ministers, Rishi Sunak has decided to retain the graduate visa, which essentially allows international students to stay on for 2 years after completing their graduation. Though, of course, it's under review, which essentially means that the bid is to target rogue recruitment agents. To talk more about this, I'm being joined by a very special guest. Sanam Arora, Chairperson of the National Indian Students and Alumni Union, is joining us live from London. Ms. Arora, thanks very much for speaking to NDTV. What are the ramifications of this? The graduate visa is something that is extremely essential and fundamental to, international students. But of course, it's been kept under review. Would you still look at it as a relief to international students, particularly Indian students?
Yes, I have been cautioning for many days not to celebrate too early, but I am definitely saying we can celebrate tonight. This definitely comes as a huge relief. There's been so much uncertainty over the last couple of months around this, so much chaos, so much anxiety among students. But I think we can all finally sigh in relief. And I think this is great news, particularly for Indian students. As you correctly point out, international students, for them, it's really important to get this 2-year ability to look for jobs, to get some meaningful work experience and really set themselves apart in the global labor markets. And I think this visa absolutely allows us to do that. So big win today.
And you work with students very closely and multiple Indian students as well, I'm sure. How important is the graduate visa for them? And particularly also looking at students who want to go abroad, who want to go to the UK to pursue their masters, their graduation, not their masters, but their graduation. How important is it for them?
I think it's absolutely of critical importance. So we have run numbers of surveys and we speak to students all the time as well. 70% of Indian students have told us at the NISAU that apart from the academic prowess of the institution that they're looking at, the ability to gain this meaningful work experience, the ability to be able to look for jobs, to start their own businesses, to really get, you cannot separate the work experience from the study experience. Working and having that real life experience is very much part of that entire study offer. So 70% of students have told us this is the number one requirement they have that makes them choose between a UK or a US or an Australia or a Canada. If the UK had taken this away, I'm afraid the numbers would have plummeted. Numbers of Indian students seeking to come to the UK would have really been hit quite badly.
Right.
So this is a massive relief.
Absolutely, but there is a caveat as well. It's under review. What does that really mean? Because, while the government may say that their bid is to target rogue agents, but, keeping it under review, what exactly does it mean and what are the ramifications of it for students?
So when the government announced that it was going to take a graduate route review in the first place, I was amongst the people who had said that it was too early to conduct this review. It is all very political and I can come on to the politics separately, but we've only had the graduate route for hardly 3 years so far. Only one or almost now the second cohort will be going through it. So there hasn't been enough meaningful data to actually come up with a full-blown review. The Migration Advisory Committee, or MAC as it's called, which undertook the review, itself said that, it took longer for the government to commission the review than they gave the MAC to actually conduct the review. Right. And so this expedited rapid review has happened. And so it's not surprising that the government has said that they'll keep it under review. Also, this is all very political. Immigration is such a hot topic in the UK.
Absolutely.
That I think if the government admitted that they weren't taking the graduate route away, that would have been a problem. If they took it away, that would have been a problem. So this is a nice middle ground, I think, that helps them.
And it's interesting that you say it's political, and of course it's political. It also comes, close on the heels of this, surprise announcement of the elections as well. So, coinciding with that. But thanks very much, Ms. Arora, for joining us with that. As you said, certainly, a big relief for international students, particularly Indians.